After 7 years together, the night began no differently than so many before it. I had booked a table at her favorite Italian restaurant, hoping to surprise her with an intimate dinner. But once we were seated, something felt off. She barely touched her linguine, her attention constantly drifting between her phone and the doorway. I brushed it aside, assuming work had simply drained her. I had no idea what was about to surface. When our entrees arrived, I tried to lift the mood by sharing a humorous story from my office. She didn't react. Her face stayed empty, her eyes fixed on her plate as though it didn't belong to her. Concerned, I asked if everything was okay. She looked up at me then, her gaze distant, almost vacant, and said quietly, "We need to talk." I set my fork down slowly as a heavy pressure settled in my chest. She inhaled deeply, like someone bracing for icy water, and spoke in a calm that felt unnatural. She told me she was seeing someone else. The words didn't ring or echo. They landed firmly, undeniable. I stared at her, unsure if I'd heard correctly. For a brief moment, I couldn't move. There was no dramatic collapse, no public scene. The world didn't shatter. It just tilted slightly. Around us, diners laughed, servers moved between tables. Life carried on untouched. I lifted my water glass, took a measured sip, and said the only thing I could manage. "Thank you for telling me." My composure seemed to surprise her. Maybe she expected anger or tears, but I didn't have the strength for either. For months, I'd felt the distance growing, late nights, clipped messages, fleeting glances. Somewhere inside, I already knew something was wrong. She began explaining herself. She said it hadn't been planned, that it happened unexpectedly, that she never intended to hurt me. Her words sounded rehearsed, as though she'd practiced them over and over in her head. I nodded, not because I agreed, but to let her finish what she'd prepared to say. When she was done, she looked at me, searching my face, perhaps hoping for forgiveness or release from her guilt. I gave her neither. I folded my napkin carefully, placed it on the table, and said, "I hope he's everything you're looking for." A hint of regret crossed her face, but it didn't change what she confessed. We sat quietly until the check arrived. I paid it without a word. As we stepped outside, she asked if I'd be okay driving home by myself. A soft laugh escaped me. "I'll be fine," I said, stepping into the cool night air, no longer pretending. The drive home was silent, but my thoughts were loud, memories replaying like an old, faded film. Our first date. Our wedding dance. Nights spent laughing on the couch. I didn't cry. I didn't unravel. I let the memories drift past one by one, like clouds moving across the sky. When I reached home, I packed a small bag and left for the night. I needed distance, not just from her, but from the overwhelming weight of everything that had become too much. I stayed with a friend, and for the first time in months, I slept without checking my phone. In the days that followed, I didn't contact her. She sent a few messages. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. She had made her decision. Now it was my turn. 2 weeks later, I began the separation process. She didn't fight it. Maybe she felt relieved. Maybe she had already left long before that dinner. Either way, I felt something I didn't expect: freedom. It's strange how someone else's honesty can release you. I didn't search for closure. Her confession gave me that. Now, each morning, I wake up breathing easier, knowing the betrayal is behind me and that I no longer have to share my life with someone who failed to value it. When I think back on that night, I don't regret how I handled it. Sometimes, "Thank you for telling me" is enough to let go and move forward.